Yeah, yeah, you can definitely punish those scholars. Bro, I remember when I first learned how to punish that the scholars mate shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I started winning so many games. Like, oh man. But that's dude. We're getting to another question here. Which I
Okay.
wanted to ask you about
Hmm.
the similarities between CS and chess. But let
Yeah.
me see if I'm missing something real quick. Okay, no, that is literally the next question. So yeah, I put this down because you've been schooling me for the past like two
Yeah.
weeks. We've been playing chess.
Yeah.
What do you're like what 15, 1600 elo around there?
Yeah, close to 1600. Online, of course. When I go to chess club in IRL, people always smack me, but I still love to play aggressive. And then when other people are like, huh, why'd he sack that piece just to get this attack? I just like think to myself, I have initiative. Or I have compensation. Those are compensatory terms of describing my gameplay. I might be losing, but the other person isn't an engine, so in a sense, you can just sort of like have some bravado. Oh, I'm winning right here. Usually, I wasn't, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
So parallels I can draw. I can compare CS with chess, right? Most IGLs will actually benefit from learning just a little bit of chess theory, just to understand how you construct tactics, how you position pieces. Do you want to show a chessboard, or should we just like talk about this vaguely? And
let me yeah, I think we can. I'm trying to think
let
of how
me
we can
do
get
that
the
then. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah,
I
show your
am just
screen.
going to stream this thing right here. Share screen. Share your screen and share chests. All right.
There we go, yeah.
You can see it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's talk about a concept in chess that is called the Fianchetto. For anyone who doesn't know what Fianchetto is, it's basically when you put your bishop here. So you try to move it there. So way white might try to Fianchetto is they do something like this. Now let's just pretend black is like, okay, whatever this guy's doing, I'll just let him do that. He plays something like this. Well, now you put this Fianchetto here. Now, in modern chess theory, you should be fighting for the center, right? Or sorry, classical chess theory, you should be fighting for the center. But instead, white has chosen to develop a piece on the flank. And this bishop is really powerful because it eyes out down here. Like, this prevents black from making a move like this. I want to equate this. You can see the evaluation saying like, oh, what are you doing? You just hung that and you hung another piece. So whatever, lovely. But the equivalent to it in CS might be how you use a lurker. So you throw a lot of util to get a lurker into a really strong position, like maybe an Inferno Banana. They're like hiding in logs, or they're crossed into the right side near sandbags that the CTs on B site don't know if they throw a smoke there. And you are essentially positioned in a place where, you know, if there's some flank maneuvers, that could be a weird rotate from the CTs. You can hear that. Or maybe if the CTs make a bad call, you're in a position where you can instantly punish that, right? So this is a great example of that, the Fianchetto bishop is a lurker. So what you understand from this is positioning of your chess pieces. I'll close this right now, right? Positioning your players. What player is the attack? What player is the support? What player has to play at a certain position? What player uses his long range abilities? An opera can really hold a long line like the bishop can, whereas the pawn has to trade whatever's closest to it. Might be your entry, might be the SMG player or something like that. Those are some really strong positioning, how to construct a tactic, okay? Now, there are also dissimilarities between chess and CS. Chess is, first of all, a open vision, open board. Both players have the same vision, the same information. In CS, that's not the case. The other team is doing something, you're doing something, you're both trying to mask what you're doing, so you kind of have to guess what the other team is doing mid-round around that. The other thing that's very different, and this complicates theory a lot, is chess is a discrete time event. You make a turn, I make a turn, and it goes back and forth. Whereas Counter-Strike is a continuous time game, whereas you are doing something while the other player is also doing something. And that complicates it a lot because you can't use all the same rules, but nonetheless, there are lots of theories you can import from chess and sort of build a good base in CS.
Yeah, that's actually I didn't think about the dissimilarities. I just noticed like the similarities and kind of just like didn't try to write out any dissimilarities, but that makes a lot of sense that chess is like move per like it's it's not continuous like you said with CS.
Yes.
I had some of my own similarities that I wrote out.
Yeah, bring
I'm
them up.
curious
Sure.
about your thoughts on that and if you want to add some. And I also just thought of one while you're talking too. So like the biggest one that I always like crossed over from CS to chess or from chess to CS was openers. Just like it's like your default is pretty much like you're playing the Sicilian or something. Like that's how you or you play King's Gambit or something. Like you're gonna play this way and like the usual protocols, like what the usual responses are to that, and you plan around that. Like that's what a default is. or
That's a
like
great
a
comparison, right? Like the idea of an opener is if you look at the parallel in CS, which is a player has a specific thing they can do with certain utility thrown, a timing they utilize, angles they check, how their teammates support them, right? It might be, for example, if you have a good spawn on Inferno T side, you're gonna go for a banana pick early.
yeah
That's an opener, right? Now the thing is that doesn't win you the round. That just
yeah
puts you in
yeah
a new position where maybe you get a kill, or maybe you go 4v4 or something like that. And it's the same in chess. If the other guy does the right moves, you still are trying to maintain equality and like still fight for an edge. It's just been pushed further in. I
yeah
love that analogy.
yeah. I think I probably misworded while I was just talking there about it being a default. It's more of like a just the initial like phase one of the round, like
Yeah.
first 30 seconds is like it's like opener versus opener
Mm-hmm.
in Counter Strike. And I think I'm getting into another question about timings. Okay, we'll say that for later. That's one of them though. We'll say that for later. Another one was like positional advantages. So like
Mm-hmm.
in chess, I don't know if you have the center of the chessboard, like you have an advantage, like you have map control. Whereas like
Yes.
in Counter Strike, if you have banana, that's map control. You'll get advantages off of that. Um, the other one was like main lines of like whatever
How to
opener.
play.
Yeah, how to play like how to play the Sicilian. You'll know all the expected responses.
Yes.
And it's like that's the same with the default. Is you're pretty much playing a chess line
Yes.
for the most part. You have your plan like responses to their responses. Um, and then I put in here too like also like hard and fast rules like that. Never just like push your king to the center of the board like with
Yeah.
there's certain things you just never
Ever
do.
drop the bomb like a mid Mirage or something?
Yeah, you
right?
just
Like
never do.
CT peaks and he's like, wait, the bomb's here, guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been nice.
Yeah, that's some basic stuff. But the other one I had it was tactics. So like there's chess tactics where it's like
Yes.
like forks with a knight or something or like
Yes.
stuff along those lines where there's certain tactics that you can do mid round that aren't necessarily like an opener, like a certain banana take, but it's more of like a mid round coordinated like on the fly type of play. So like I don't know, like maybe
I
like
have a great example for that.
yeah,
Okay,
you give me one.
CS comparison. Mirage T side, a CT who pushes underpass, but you don't actually rush into him. You let him stay there. Think, oh, they're not checking me, and then your mid player and your underpass player on T side pincer on him.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a fork right there, right? Like that guy is just trapped. He thought he was making an aggressive move, but you didn't die to his aggression, and now he's going to pay the price for it.
Yeah, it's like
They will, assuming whatever gender they are.
yeah, that's like a tactic comparison. That's a good one. I was gonna say something along the lines like I don't know, maybe like a flash peak play, like a pop flash peak play. Like that's something you
Yeah.
could. It's always just like a good thing to do mid round. You don't have to, set up for it. Like you don't go into a chess game like I'm gonna fork 40 moves in. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know unless you're like Magnus or something, but
Yeah.
it's something that like it's just always good to do mid round or whenever.
Mhm.
On the last one, I just thought about when you're talking about how you get compensation for you lose a big piece.
Yes.
That's something that people also do in CS as well. Like you sack, like, you can like sack pieces almost in CS2 where you send a Lurkin anti-eco onto B
Yeah.
site to look.
He dies, but he sees like the Astralis boost going on or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that in Inferno, and he's like, guys, they're stacked on pool. You gotta go A.
Yeah.
And every time you do it in ESEA, you lose because like the CTs just rush together. But theoretically, the right move to make there is you play on the other side of the map. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great point too.
Like sacking pieces. I mean, or if you're like an IGL, I know MDS plays a style like this where he's just super aggressive and he just goes for information or like a
Yeah.
play, but he's always getting information out of the play, whether it works or not.
Yeah.
And it's like he's
Old school Glaive was
sacking.
like that. He was the type of player who would just sometimes knife out or just say, you know what, we have an advantage, we're going here, but let me just die on the other side of the map just to confirm that where we're going is the right play. I remember plays where like his team is going A, but he just runs alone at B just to check, okay, the CTs have gamble stack B, and now
Yeah.
my teammates can go A. That's a great point too.